All right, Stephen A., the current Laker legend, LeBron, where does this one, last night, this chip, rank among the four he's gotten on the wall?
Well, I mean, I think you can make a legitimate argument that it's number one. So most people would say number two, behind what he did in 2016, coming back from a 3-1 deficit. But remember, I'm the guy that has consistently lamented the stimulus package that the NBA threw in his direction when they suspended Draymond Green after Game 4. Because LeBron threw him to the floor, he kicked up his leg. He had done it in the past, or he had kicked up his leg in the past against Steven Adams and others. As a result, he gets suspended for Game 5 with Golden State up 3-1. That same game, back spasms start irritating Andre Iguodala. He's not the same, and Andrew Bogut gets hurt. So I thought that the Cleveland Cavaliers would lose that series in 5. They was on course to lose that series in 5 until the NBA gave them that stimulus package. That's my belief. But having said all of that, I certainly understand how people would look at that and say that was a phenomenal accomplishment because coming down from 3-1 is still coming down from 3-1. LeBron James is absolutely phenomenal in that series. But I just look at this particular NBA Finals victory, and I'm just thinking about all these guys had to endure. And I can't say enough personally about what I've seen from the players, the entire league, and even the networks that were covering the games in TNT and ESPN/ABC. I mean, it was just phenomenal across the board to see those folks go in there to make the sacrifices on a personal level that they made, staying away from family, friends, loved ones, being confined to the bubble, knowing that people didn't want to be there, knowing that if you lost, you could go home early, and to still focus and to dedicate and to have the slew of competitive games and competitive fervor that we have over the last 2 to 3 months. It was just something phenomenal to watch. And to end all of that by coming out as the champion and playing in a dominant fashion that the Lakers and specifically LeBron James played with, I have to give major props where props is due. And to me, it's debatable, but you can view this as his greatest accomplishment.
S.A., I saw on your show you guys were talking to Mark Jackson, and Jack said that essentially LeBron James has the best career out of any player he's ever seen play the game. What is your stance on that? What do you think?
It's possible. I think about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 19-time All-Star, 6-time NBA champion, all-time scoring leader, the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA. And you can make a legitimate argument about his career, and then and especially when you couple that with his achievements on the collegiate level at UCLA, one could argue that he had a better career. But I can understand that argument on LeBron James, and I have no problem with it whatsoever. Just as long as somebody doesn't tell me that he's better than Michael Jordan, we're good. I've got him as number 2 all time on Mount Rushmore, behind Michael Jordan. But LeBron belongs up there. But if he feels disrespected and maligned because somebody has the temerity, the unmitigated gall to label him number 2 all time in the history of basketball, at least when it comes to this person you're listening to right now, he'll have to get the hell over it because I'm not changing my position one bit in that regard. But he is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. I've got him number 2 all time. I think it's debatable as to whether or not his career overall is better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but I think with his talents, what he brings to the table, et cetera, I don't think that you can summarily dismiss that argument made by Mark Jackson. I can understand where he's coming from.
He's not – Michael Jordan's not better than LeBron, man. You crazy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to even have that debate. I don't even want to have that debate, Stephen A. I just enjoy watching them all. Man, I just enjoy watching them all, right? I mean, let's enjoy watching them all.
Time out. Let me say this. And let me get on that. Let me get on my 2 boys, because anybody that knows me knows that Jay Williams and Keyshawn are my 2 boys. I love y'all dearly. Here's one. Let me tell you what I hate about sometimes about some of us in this business, where we hate getting into this particular discussion. Excuse me. It's what we do. It's what we do. If you ain't playing anymore, I wasn't good enough to play at all on y'all level. So the bottom line is, it's what we do. What do we mean we hate having the discussion? We don't have to have it now because we had it many times. But what I'm saying is that I'm watching Jay on Get Up this morning doing a phenomenal job. He always does. And it just amazes me how I just hate doing this. I just hate comparing. Just let them play. No, it's what we do. You play, we watch, and chronicle what we see. Because throughout history in this business, That's what they're going to defer to. When I watched boxers in the 1970s and what have you, guess what, guys? I didn't just watch them. I listened to what Howard Cosell had to say, and I remembered. And guess what? That's a part of history, too. So y'all can choose to be quiet about whatever positions y'all choose to be quiet about. I'm not doing that. If I feel the way I feel and it happens to be different than what other people are saying, they going to have to get over it or deal with the argument and come back with their own retort. It's what we do.
Well, only reason why I say that, though, because I've seen, just like you, I've seen Kareem, I've seen Magic, I've seen LeBron, I've seen Kobe, I've seen Jordan, I've seen Shaq. So different eras, different teams, different times, different coaches, different players they're going up against. So it's hard to, as I always say, put somebody ahead of somebody else. There's only one person in sports that I've always said is better than anybody, period, and that's Jerry Rice. That's the only one.
Hold on, Key. Because now we're going to take you there. Because I heard you the other day. You said that this is the softest era that we've ever seen in the NBA. So I guess my question is to you: if LeBron James were playing back in Jordan's era, do you still think LeBron James would be dominant?
I still think that he would be great. Dominant is not a word that I would use, but I will say this. When I was talking about the era Jays, I appreciate you asking that question. I wasn't talking about the players. I was talking about what the NBA did in terms of softening and modifying the rules to ingratiate the sport to the American public and beyond, to make it more appealing, and also to ingratiate itself with the community in Europe. Because as a result of that, we've seen the game change. It's called considerably softer, and some of the terrain, some of the arduous stuff that you had to go through back in the day, you did not have to go through in this era. That's what I was saying. I didn't mean for somebody to look at LeBron or Russell Westbrook or Harden or anybody else and say they're soft. I'm not calling any player soft. I would never disrespect them like that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.